Hi, I'm Dr. Kevin W. Tharp. I am an Associate Professor of Digital Marketing Technology at the University of Wisconsin-Stout. And this video today is aimed at the students and the potential partner organizations that are interested in the search engine optimization course that we have here at UW-Stout. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is that this course is the result of a partnership between UW-Stout and FindLaw, which is a Thomson Reuters company. And FindLaw is an organization that provides web services to law clients, and they have a lot of knowledge in the area of search engine optimization and all the various things that come along with an online presence. And with a partnership that we've had going back several years with them, we've reached the point where they actually will provide resources for us, including, and this is one of the really cool things about this course, they provide us with instructors to help us teach specific topics in this course. So many of the weeks, the instruction is taught by professionals in the field who do this on a day-to-day basis. And we do that because things like search engine optimization change so quickly that we need to make sure that the people who are learning this stuff learn what is current, not what was the way to do things a year or 2 years ago. And it's important that we teach that in this. And the only way that we could do that is with partners like FindLaw. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them because the ability for these students to learn this and for them to work with you if you're a partner organization is largely a result of the generosity of FindLaw. So we appreciate that. Now, a quick course overview. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to talk about what's the content of the SEO course. I'm going to talk about requirements of the partner organization, because that really is what this is about. Then what the students will do and what the students will not do. So the content of the course is a series of modules that are, they change really even within the semester sometimes. The content of them are changed, but what they do is they expose the students to the principles and the tactics related to search marketing. And the tactics change quickly. The principles are relatively stable. So that's sort of the theory kind of stuff. And we're able to give students access to both of those through this. Now, the content of the course, really everything that the students do, the way that they are going to learn it, they're going to hear from myself and the guest instructors, but then what they're going to do is they're going to take what they've learned and they're going to apply it to a audit report for the partner organizations. And that is where you come in, because they need to have access to real data in order to learn what we're trying to do here. So they're not just learning about it, they're actually learning it. And so in the process, what they will be doing, and you will receive this if you're a partner organization, is they will be creating an internet market report as a result of auditing all of your different websites and online presences, things that we'll talk about further in the video. And at the end of the semester, in order for them to get the grade, the students, this is their grade, the results of this site audit, and they have to present that to the class, and they have to present that to the partner organizations in order to get a grade for the course. And that's broken down into these areas of executive summary, current data, so what's the current data on your site, on-site evaluation, and we'll look at that a little bit, local evaluation, off-site evaluation, user experience. They'll do a paid search mock-up. They'll do a competitive analysis between you and your competitors, and then they will propose some strategies and tactics and other opportunities that they're able to explore and identify as they're going through it. So the role of the partner organization, we already touched on this a little bit. We need real websites to learn. So without actual data, it's really, you learn about this stuff, but you don't actually learn to do it. So that is your role as a partner organization, is we need to look at your website, and they will take a close look at your website and your web presence, because it's not just your website, throughout the semester. And they're going to learn things about your organization that likely you don't even know, at least about your web presence. So the requirements of the partner organization are spelled out in a document that we call our partner organization, or a partner agreement. And the student should provide you with this document. If not, we'll give you a link to it on our website. So this goes through and it lays out the requirements. And it's important that you meet all the requirements because each of these things that are built in here are built in for a specific reason. Because ultimately the goal of the class is for the students to learn the curriculum of the course. And so if, for instance, one of the requirements in here is that you have to have a local presence. We'll talk about that in a minute. Well, if you don't have a physical location where you're doing business out of, then they're not able to learn that aspect. And that actually is the one element that has been responsible for the most organizations that wanted to participate that couldn't, is that they didn't have a local presence. But the goal of this is for our students to learn how to take control of your local listings. And if you don't have a local presence, they can't do that. And so the goal is for the students to learn. The outcome is that you're able to get the site audit report that will help you to understand your web presence. So the requirements: be a business or not-for-profit organization. So it can't be a personal website or something like that. So we really need to do this for that. You need to have an existing web presence. And by web presence, there has to be enough of a web presence there that they're able to learn, but not so big that it's too much for them to be able to manage and look at. So if you're an Amazon, well, obviously that's way too big for our students, and you should probably already have somebody doing it anyway. So the important part is that you either control or manage your content directly, or you have somebody who's doing that for you. In other words, this website needs to be a living thing. It can't be just a couple pages that you put up 10 or 12 years ago and you're not using, because that's not going to be beneficial to you or to the students. And again, it can't be single page sites or listing and web resources. It's got to be something that will allow the students to learn. And everything comes back to, does your presence allow the student the opportunity to learn what they need to learn? Requirements of the organization: you either need to already having an existing analytics package like Google Analytics or Web Trends or one of those, or if you do not have that, and this is often the case with the partner organizations we get, you need to be willing to have a Google Analytics account set up in the name of your company and have the tracking code inserted on the pages of your website. Now, the student will work with you to get that account set up, but you are responsible for getting that code added, and they'll work with you to help you to get that done. The student won't actually be putting any content in your site, and we cover that again later on. There's no charge to use the basic Google Analytics package, but what it does is it allows us to see a great deal of information about your particular website. And so the students are able to go in and look and see information about how people are using your website. That's what the analytics, the Google Analytics in this case, is showing you, so that you can see trends, you can see how people are using your site, and you can gain a lot of information from that. So that's one of the things that the students need to be able to do. They need to be able to go in, and once you have that tracking code in there, the students need to be able to access the reports from your analytics data, because that's how they're going to learn and see and be able to share information with you. We talked about this a little bit earlier. You need to have a physical address from which the partner organization does business, because the students will be going in and taking control of what are called the local listings. That's the listings in places like Bing and Google that are based upon a presence of your organization on a map, and it has listings about your organization. Name, address, phone number are the key elements, but then they're able to get you control so that you can enter things like your business hours or your menu if you happen to be a restaurant, that kind of stuff. And so you need to have that physical location so that the students have the ability to learn how to go in and take control of that local listing. And you benefit in that you will then have access to and control of your local listings so that you can better see how people are interacting through what we call local with your business. Okay, so one of the things that you need to do is allow the students to gain access of or control of that local research resources. Now, if you already have control of those, that's okay. Because if you already have control, they don't need to take control, but they'll go out there, and that's one of the things they'll do is they'll identify to see if your local search resources have been gained control, and if not, then they will try to, and I say try to because in all cases you can't do it, but they will try to gain control of those local resources for you, and that can be a real benefit to you as an organization. We need to know what your social media presence is. So you'll need to inform your student about any social media accounts that your organization uses. Because again, one of the things that they'll be doing evaluation of is your social media presence. Now, this is a really, really important part because they're going to need to have somebody either in your organization or who is managing your website so that they can talk to that person, so that they can make sure that they are getting the Google Analytics on there if they need to. There needs to be a point person who they can talk to who has knowledge of and access to your website so that they can accomplish the goals of this. And it should be a individual, not a department or talk to one of these people, because that just becomes really challenging for the students if they don't have a key contact in the organization. Now, this is one that some might think that that's sort of a weird requirement, but the bottom line is if you're an organization that's already paying somebody to full-time optimize your website, there's going to be very little that the student is able to learn, because you learn more from seeing what's wrong than seeing what's right in this case. So if you have a highly optimized website, if you've got people who are looking at this day in and day out, it might be better to use the student as a co-op student rather than being a partner in this way, because you've already got what you're going to get out of this course if you are already paying somebody to do this for you. And so in order to optimize what you're getting out of this course and the student's ability to learn, we're really hoping that you don't have a full-time personnel that are already doing the web optimization stuff. So what the student will do, they're going to evaluate your web content, and that's also your search, your on-site, off-site, local, social media, those kind of things, and they're gonna take a look at this. And each week, as they learn about it, they will take what they've learned, they will apply what they learned that week by looking at your web presence from that perspective, and they'll put it into that report that they'll give at the end of the semester. The student will, if necessary, set up a Google Analytics account on behalf of your organization. Now, I'm not going to read this whole screen. I'll leave it there long enough for you to read it, or you can pause it. But really what's going on is the student's going to help you to get to where you're going to do. They're going to do an assessment of your presence. They're not going to change your presence. So the only exception to that is if they take control of your local, that's going to in itself, by them taking control, it's going to change your web presence, but they're not creating content for you. They're going to attempt to take control of your local listings. They'll do a series of assignments that'll collectively gather information about your web presence and give you that marketing report at the end. Now, here's another important part. The student will not. They're not going to create or manage your content or marketing messages. They're doing an audit of what you're doing. So if what you're wanting them to do is come in and create a new content for you, this is not the situation. They're not going to create or modify your content. They're going to look at it and give you an assessment of it and recommendations on how it can be improved. They're not going to commit to any financial contracts for you, for the school, or for any of our partners such as FindLaw. When it's all said and done, they will give you access to anything that they've gained access to. Now, if they have to set up an account, say on Google for themselves, you won't get access to that. But if they set up an account on Google for you, they will have to give you that account. Or it's better if you guys have an existing account that they can just leverage, not by accessing it, but by giving you access to that. So anything that they create on your behalf will be given to you by that student. And so I think that pretty much sums it up. We can't do this course without you. And so we appreciate that you are interested in being a partner organization with us. And if you have any questions, the students should be able to answer most of them, or if necessary, you can contact me. I'm Kevin Tharp at the University of Wisconsin Stout, and I'll be happy to help you with this. I really appreciate you students that are taking this course, and I especially thank the partner organizations who are considering being involved in this. You will get a lot out of this, and the students will get a lot out of it. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.